I see so many people post guides on the internet about how to get to a certain elo, all the while ignoring the fact that, for one, a new player cannot get to diamond in 3 weeks, no matter what they do. And for two, the game is a lot different in high elo than it is in bronze and silver. So, today I'm making a guide on how I went from bronze 3 to gold 5 in 3 weeks, over the challenges I was facing and how I got over them. Do note that I was playing for 12 hours a day for those 3 weeks, so a lot of time went into this. So the first challenge I've had was finding people to play with. For this I have used LOL Duo, and it was hard because in silver not everybody matches my standards for communication. I've made some good friends on this website. I've also met some people that ended up being my haters, as you can see here. Shout out to that guy. Alright, so the first challenge was obviously finding a good duo. And because it's silver and bronze, it's very hard to find a person that doesn't belong in this elo. So let's get into the second challenge. So once I found a good duo, the second challenge was of self-improvement and self-awareness, because most people in these elos are focused on the illusion that if they duo, their duo is going to perform better than them. While in the meantime also having a list of excuses for why they're stuck where they are. These range from the very popular ones of bad teams, AFKs, and insert excuse here, to the less popular ones of I suck. Now with all those being preached, it's very hard to focus on oneself. Now here's a funny stream highlight of self-awareness, I guess. Might be a little bit loud.
Oh shit! I fucked it up! No!
See how I immediately admit that I fucked it up? And not like, oh, I've initiated and there's no team follow-up. It's your guys' fault she's not dead. No, I have admitted that I have fucked it up here. And this is a very obvious case of just Thresh Lantern being misplaced. And then, this is still a really fun game here. But notice how my self-awareness actually stays. Because here, notice how I have an active item. And then basically Eve comes in and attempts to kill the ADC.
I had this like forever now. Fucking. I'm playing so boosted, but it's okay.
Notice I have admitted that I've been messing up. Like I could have saved her the summoner there. And this is just a very well, positive example rather. There are many examples where I fucked up a lot harder than that. But let's move on to the next challenge I faced. The idea of self-awareness extended to the point where I have changed my summoner name to Boosted Monkey. Now, here there are two rather game-breaking ideas to note that I have discovered and that have made me improve. One is I've realized that I am not better than these silver players. I belonged where I was. And this was a funny name to do that I wanted to do for fun, but also I needed a reminder that I am not as good as I think I am. And this helped The next big idea that I have picked up, which has improved my prediction skills, which were already good, as you can see here.
Brian, just gonna love you again. Come on, boy, do it. There you go. I mean, it's obvious.
Was the idea that, and I've picked this up from Nisi, that's why I'm showing him. Feel free to check him out, credits to Nisi. The idea was that when you walk up to a player's skill shot zone, they will throw out their skill shot at you, provided there's a possibility they can hit you with it 100% of the time. With this knowledge, my prediction went up from being just simple things like this to being rather amazingly good. So, apart from prediction and self-awareness challenges, another thing was the basic things. And take a look here. I miss 4 CS out of 6. And this has been happening repeatedly over the course of time. And this has been holding me back. So, lesson here is basic things. Master the basics. The CSing, the map awareness, and such. Because those things hold you back a lot. That was a lot of gold missed right there. The basic things then snowball into like power spikes, champion scaling, being aware of runes, being aware of their cooldowns, and being aware of a lot of the other things, like what rating is the player, and what can you do to abuse that. Here's some general analogy on how League of Legends is designed to work. Firstly, I'm just going to explain very shortly of how the win rate affects your game. When you have over 50% win rate, you get bad teammates, because the game is testing your ability to carry them. When you have below 50% win rate, you get better teammates, so you don't lose every game. If you do not have over 50% win rate, you belong where you are. So before I address what's on screen, let me mention something else about how in-game gameplay works. When you and your buddy duo, there's 2 people that are duo on the enemy team. If you face the good player, and by good player I mean somebody who's better than your average teammate, and you go even with them, your team is going to win against the bad players, and you'll win. If you face the good player and you beat them and your team beats the bad players, you win. If you face the good player and you lose, but your team still beats the bad players, there's a chance for a comeback. If your team loses to the bad players, you lose to the good player, you lose. If you beat the good player, but your team loses and feeds every other lane, you can easily carry the game. If you beat the bad player, but then the good player beats your team on some other lane, the game is going to be a long game, a very even game, and a very challenging game. Those are about all the scenarios of how a League of Legends game goes. And now I'm going to address what's on screen. So what you see here is that 72% of players are silver and bronze. So when your buddy tells you that gold is trash, don't worry, you'll climb there easily by just playing. It is not true. It is hard to surpass 70% of players when there's 200 million players playing. Now, I am aware that these statistics are not entirely accurate due to multiple accounts, smurfing, and all that other stuff, but they're not entirely off either. So, I guess I'm going to wrap this up now. Here I've discussed what has held me back during those 3 weeks that I was climbing to gold. Some of the problems were basic mechanics, mindset, finding a good duo, looking at your own replays that I actually haven't gotten footage for, being aware that gold is actually not that easy to get, and all the other stuff that I've addressed here. This is just a small little clip of another idea that I forgot to address, and in silver it's actually not really worth duoing because people are bad, so unless you find the smurf, then it's probably a good idea to play solo. Like right here, my duo was the Lulu and she basically cleanses and ults herself. And this is not the only scenario. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you don't like my voice or think I'm being negative or I sound like a dead walrus, feel free to dislike the video. And if it actually helped you, then feel free to upload it. In any case, future me is gonna find this rather useful. And I'm out.